I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video we're going to be talking to Aquarius. If you're Aquarius, throw up some water. Maybe not towards your technology, that probably isn't a good mix, but anyways, we are going to be looking at your energies and what's going on with you and the story behind that. And then in addition to that, we are going to be looking at the energies with you and somebody else and the story behind that. Now, this is ideally for sun signs, but moon and rising signs are of course welcomed. It's all about the message resonating with you. So let's get started for the energies going on. I already shuffled the cards because I take a long time to shuffle. These are the energies going on. Oh, I love this. Okay, this is so cool. So cleaning house is essentially helping out with tiger's eye or tiger eye. I've never said it like that. Do you say tiger's eye or say tiger eye? Anyways, so cleaning house is just as it sounds, but this is talking about a combination of your physical house, like it's a good time to clean out and get rid of things, but we're also talking metaphorically. We're talking about people you're associated with, kind of stopping and saying, what values have you held on to for too long, and about being honest with yourself and being like, this isn't serving me anymore. Why am I holding on to this? It's kind of that idea when people want to get into minimalist living. It's suggested you get a box and you put a bunch of items in that, and then every time you use an item from the box, you take it out and you don't put it back. And at the end of the term, it could be 30 days or 60 days. If at the end of that time period, certain items are still left in that box, then you don't really need it. You don't use it enough. So think of it as the same concept. Have the values and ideas that you think are useful are not actually being used to your benefit in the last 30 to 60 days. If it's been more harm than good, this is something you should consider getting rid of. Now, the reason why you're cleaning out and making room, I'm very excited to say, is because of, and I'm going to say tiger's eye because it rolls off my tongue a lot better. This is really cool because this talks about being able to bring something that's invisible into the real world. So this is manifesting in almost a mystical alchemist kind of way. But in general, manifesting is like that. You are bringing something out of nothing. This is making me feel like the thing that you're particularly wanting is a physical item, I guess job occupations aren't necessarily physical. It doesn't feel like a present. It feels very money oriented, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Either way, this is talking about the idea that you are capable of doing it, but the main thing you want to do in order to be able to do this is focus on intention and concentration. When you're like, okay, this is the thing that I want, you need to understand that you are co-creating with the universe. So when you feel that distraction coming on saying, oh my goodness, I want this big career, it seems kind of totally out of my wheelhouse, I don't know if I have enough experience or knowledge, whatever the dream is, when you start to get distracted by the little details or the largeness of the concept, it's about letting those go and focusing on your intention to get there and knowing that the universe is going to help you. And this is also a reminder that you're going to get help along the way from a random person popping up into your life and giving you advice when you least expect it, an opportunity presenting itself to give you a little more knowledge, or something that feels like a mistake that fell through was actually a blessing in disguise because it gave you a cheaper option for maybe you needed to buy fabric, you're a fashion designer or something like that. Either way, it's about making room in order to create, because when you're no longer distracted by all that stuff that's been holding you back, it's a lot easier to set this intention and kind of have it come into existence. So let's see the story added to this. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. That's so funny. We knew that. Yeah, and they're all headed towards Queen of Pentacles. That's something of note. Let me look at this for a second. Okay, the first thing I'm going to notice here, and when we talked about cleaning house being a metaphor for sometimes like ideas or people, we definitely want to talk about people. It can still talk about ideas, like sometimes we have ideas that aren't really supportive. If you think of being your own cheerleader, or do you have thoughts that kind of put yourself down rather than lift yourself up. Do you see what I'm saying? But with the Four of Wands in reverse, this is an indication you have someone in your life kind of like bringing you down, and they don't really fully get what you have to offer. And in general, I'm getting shown a form of somebody on like crutches, but it's almost like you're the one in that situation, and then the other person is like adding more rocks to your backpack and like pushing you down and making a difficult situation more uncomfortable. So not a very fun imagery, but this is not a forewarning of like this is gonna happen. It's more that it's happening right now, and this is the thing you have an opportunity to clear out. Here's where we can get a little more detailed so we can understand like what that specifically entails. So Six of Pentacles talks about the idea of setting boundaries. This other person in your life, it's kind of being left up in the air if you're going to fully cut them out, or it's about like you're just no longer going to allow them to suck up your energy or bend it to their will. You're putting up a sort of energy field, if you will, so they will no longer bother you in that sort of way. If they want to be unsupportive, that's fine, but that's not going to affect your situation anymore, so to speak. Because the Six of Pentacles is someone who's very loving, so we get a little bit of a vibe of who you are and your interaction with this is someone you probably really care about. But as much as you're loving, it's still, in order to be a long-term loving person and be this generous and offer yourself up in this kind of way, you need to know when you need to hold back and take care of yourself in order to continue to have the kind of energy that you can bring to other people in the long term, if that makes sense. This gets added upon when we have the Strength card. Strength card I'm majorly picking up is Leo energy. This is a bit of a clue that this is a romantic connection. This is like a zesty romantic connection, I'll be honest with you. It's funny, we're talking specifically about you, but hey, stories are going to pop up, messages are going to come through, how they're going to come through. But we're picking up that Leo energy. And keep in mind, I know I'm talking to my Aquariuses, but the Leo energy basically says this is somebody who's totally aware of what they want and they're just not afraid to ask for it. Again, we talk about intention, and they're strong. They're strong enough to set boundaries. They're strong enough to pick what they want. There's a lot of like cutting out all the details and well, but what if, and maybe, I don't know. It's getting rid of that and becoming very singular mindset when it comes to problems and how to handle them, what you want, things like that. And so when you come up with these little hiccups and these people in your way that are trying to distract you or push you down, handling them is handled in a very singular way. It's nothing personal, but I got to put up a wall. I got to take care of me right now. The King of Wands adds that idea. If you notice, he's turning away. He's putting a huge wall up between himself and this person that's unsupportive. Because, Spirit's telling me there's one person in your life right now that's closest to you, most likely a romantic connection, that is not supportive. But I'm also being told there's somebody like behind the scenes that's not supportive and you are not very close to them, like you don't hang out with them. It almost feels like this could be an ex of theirs, or maybe this is like a friend you're no longer friends with. It just feels like they're still watching you from a distance and they're a little bit obsessed and they kind of want to see you not do well because, clearly they're dealing with their own stuff. You know what I mean? That's usually the vibe when we connect to those type of people. But anyways, the King of Wands is somebody who goes, you know what? I'm not going to worry about that whole, yes, a support system is so important in order to get to the long term of my goals. We talked about how in Tiger's Eye, you're going to receive these little messages and hints from the universe by interactions with random people in order to continue getting to that ultimate goal of yours. But the King of Wands doesn't worry about who's there and who isn't serving them. They turn inwards and they find that happiness and joy of what they're doing, and they're perpetuating such a vibrant energy of like they love what they do, they believe in it. They know that by perpetuating that energy and embodying it to its fullest with no doubt, no worry, the people are going to come. The people are going to see what they're doing and be like, wow, you're so cool. I want to be part of this. You make this so inviting. It's definitely a hint, I'm being told, and a key to your long-term success. So if you're ever like lost, just focus on your intention and focus on how much you love it and know that everything else will follow. It's sort of like in a law of attraction, abundance kind of thing. If you embody the idea of this is where it's at, then that's where it's at. You're going to be where it's at. And everything else, including people, your future support system, and like opportunities in general will follow. And and notice that both of these situations shield around and are setting some sort of boundary between this person. So again, I'm not getting a clear answer. This is someone you're going to kick out and necessarily clean house up, but maybe the value of the perspective of being like, the belief system, that's what I want to say, the belief system that you need to keep feeding into other people, and it's somehow selfish to take care of yourself and put yourself first. You're not a bad person, and by doing that. You're just a healthy person and know how to treat yourself well. But this all beautifully heads and leads towards the Queen of Pentacles. What can I say? She is the queen of manifestation. Just like Tiger's Eye, she makes something out of nothing. She's really great to get as a manifestation card when it comes to like job-oriented stuff, because you can trust that she is able to, she has no fears because she knows she can depend on her experience to create that something out of nothing with her hands. So if she was somebody who sewed a lot, again, we go back to the fashion designer analogy, she could easily go, no worries, if my dresses, get stolen, I'll sew some more, whatever. If I need more opportunities, I will make those opportunities. I can trust that I can always see that there is an opportunity waiting to be fulfilled by a combination of my own belief system and what I can create with my hands. So this is the confirmation that you're way better at this than you're aware of, especially with the Tiger's Eye. These are double confirmation. But keep in mind some of these boundaries and perspectives to get rid of these distractions and people that can potentially pull you down or take away the intensity of you setting this intention and manifesting this stuff into the world, which is really cool. So now let's get into, I'm trying to think about what I want to do. Let's get into a person you're connecting with. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I'm wondering if this is this. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on here before I pull stories to the card. This is not a super fun relationship. I can see there is a lot of effort being put in, but it just doesn't seem to go anywhere, especially on the emotional front. A lot of investment, a lot of trying out different techniques or paths, or I'll give them attention, I won't give them attention, I'll go meet them up here, I'll try to be open, I'll give them space. There's a lot of it's coming from a place of love. I want to point this out. You're trying to figure out what is their love language and what works, but it just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. And with the Justice card, there's this feeling of like you're not getting what you're owed. That's something to keep in mind as a card that pops up. Now, I don't want to I'm not trying to put any words in your mouth or anything like that. I'm just saying that I could have gotten any other card that symbolizes the same concept of like not getting back what you put in effort-wise. But the Justice in reverse kind of says a lot about like, well, if you view this relationship as a bartering system and they're putting you in a position, keywords, they're putting you in a position to view the love and relationship like a bartering system. Is that what you want? Is that how you view the love of your life? These are just things to consider, so to speak. So let's get into the story. I'm being told 4. Okay, I will stop at 4. Yeah, there's that loving nature again. You are very loving. Okay. So interesting because, it's good because I don't really love to tell people if they will no longer be together or not. That's not ideally what I would like. I like to look for solutions. But what's interesting here is it's kind of left up in the air. And you'll see what I mean in a moment. So the 5 of Pentacles in reverse is a super loving nature, saying that issues you guys have had, this definitely pops up. I want to point out if there's been like serious issues with like money or something happened where it really put a lot of strain on the relationship. But just consider this a metaphor for a strain on the relationship in general. Whatever's going on, yes, there is an opportunity to save it and make it better and overcome this. However, it still seems to be trying to find opportunities for overall happiness and love and connection in general, kind of outside of the relationship. It's like, it doesn't mean a full-on leaving. It's like a subconscious vibe of like, your heart in the long term feels like it's being pulled outside of it. And this is something, and this is where it's going to get a little bit, intense here for a moment. So stay with me. So we have your other person here depicted in the Two of Wands, and I do not like how they are paired with the Seven of Cups in reverse and Seven of Wands. They seem like they're acutely aware of their effect on you. They are very much careful. It's like careful as in like when they're making decisions in their long term, if they at all play dumb and seem like they don't know what they're doing, they do. They totally know what they're doing. They're really thinking about the long term of their plans. They haven't quite made decisions yet, like full on, like they're in action of working on those plans. But if they seem like, oh, I don't know what the future holds, they know what the future holds. They know what they're doing. And what's weirdest and worst is the Seven of Cups in reverse shows me that whether you were aware of it or not, or maybe you are, you had a lot more options of other partners or people interested in you, and just general, I'm being told by Spirit, like options in general, like fun things to do. And when you were like, okay, I'm going to be with this other person, it really just closed out those options. It was like, for better or worse, you're moving forward with this person. Now, keep in mind, you can always change that. You can always turn that around, bring those options and opportunities in your life again. This isn't the end. I just want to point that out. But when you're with somebody, it shouldn't be like opportunities gone. Do you see what I'm saying? It should be like, okay, well, now there's different kind of opportunities. And here's the weirdest and worst part. They were acutely aware that they had this effect on you. There's a weird sense of like satisfaction I'm getting from looking at this, which, makes me uncomfortable. It's like they haven't found the courage yet to move forward. And so it makes them feel good to feel like you're not progressing because they haven't progressed. They like want you on their level. But they do not seem to have. See, it's okay if you and your partner want to progress at the same time. There's a love and a joy of sharing that together. But they almost seem like they want to think of two people. I'm being shown people running on a track, right? And it's like they're holding your shirt and pulling you back. And they want to get a couple, feet ahead of you and then let you go and make sure they're ahead of you. They don't mind if you progress as long as they're ahead of you. And they're acutely aware of this. This also gets extended over here in the Seven of Wands. I can see you defending your choice to be with them and being told, you've talked to friends and you're just like, no, I know what I'm doing. I'm happy with my decision. Like, I'm into them. I don't know what to tell you. But here's the thing, you got Seven of Wands in reverse, and I don't know how to say this any other way, so apologies if this comes off harsh, but it's when somebody is being treated like a doormat. They are aware of what they're doing to you, and out of affection, maybe potentially even love, you're allowing them to get away with it because, if you were in a different situation, it wouldn't necessarily be the wrong thing to do. It's not a bad thing to be open and willing to help make your partner comfortable and be down with what they're doing. You're assuming they have the best of your intentions. So, yeah. Anyways, either way, these are just some things to consider when we talk about the bartering, their mindset. Yes, it can be changed and fixed and got better, but I don't necessarily see them changing with their ultimate goal and the perspective of them wanting to be kind of ahead and stuff like that. So make sure you focus on your intentions and your ultimate goals in life because you have a bright future ahead of you, and I don't want to speak for you. You can make whatever decision you want to make, but I think you deserve better, and so does the universe. So that's just something to consider. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a lovely day. I will see you in the next one. Bye!